Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Know to Code, and in this video we'll be focusing on the shell permissions task. Let's get right into it. So before we go into our terminal, I want to assume that you've read the requirements and you've gone through this file. You understand what is required of you, what this task wants us to do, and what we're supposed to do. So now let's get back to the business of the day. Let's start with the quiz first of all. So I will just go a little bit slowly here. Now let's get right into the coding. So I've already done everything, so I will just be showing you my answers and explaining my answers to you, so this can help you figure out what answers to give or just make your life a whole lot easier. Okay, now let's go. So the first question, my name is Betty. It says create a script that switches the current user to the user Betty. You should use exactly 8 characters for your command plus 1 character for a new line. You can assume that the user Betty will exist when we will run your script. So this one is pretty simple. It's just either you use the sudo command or you use the su command to make it a temporary super user. Okay, the terminal was having some problems. Okay, now let's get right into it. So for here, I just did su Betty, and that's the answer to this one. So now we'll move to the next one. And the next one is question 1. Write a script that prints the effective username of the current user. And the answer to that one is just simply who am I. There's a bash command called who am I, so that's that. But let's still see it though. And you can see it here, who am I, no space, just everything together. So that's that. Then the next one, we have groups. Write a script that prints all the groups the current user is part of. So let's copy this and let's see how to do that. Simple answer, groups. So the answer to this one is just simply groups, and that's that. So the next one is number 3. I want this video to be as short as possible. Next one is number 3. Number 3 says write a script that changes the owner of the file hello to the user Betty. So how are we going to do this? Let's see that. Sorry. So sudo chown Betty Hall. So the sudo, because we're trying to change it as a super user, and like I said, I hope you've read the resources provided for us, and if you did, you would have come across this command. Now this is a command that allows you to change the user of in the Linux system. So that's that. Actually, the chown command helps you change file ownership, not the file ownership. Then the sudo command allows you to temporarily change the user. Then the chown command, or I'll call this chown command, helps you change file ownership. Then we go to number 4. So number 4 says write a script that creates an empty file. Oh, I believe we all know this one. The answer to this one, to create an empty file, hello. The answer to this one is just touch hello. Obviously, you have to put your shebang, hashtag exclamation / bin/bash, then touch hello. So we don't even need to address this one. So we'll skip to number 5. So number 5 says write a script that adds execute permission to the owner of the file. So we want to write a script that adds execute permission to the owner of the file, just to the owner. So like in this task, you have to be careful when reading the questions, because if you don't understand the questions properly, you make mistakes. So you have to like be super duper careful when reading the questions. So for this one, we'll just copy this. It's just basically what we've been doing whenever we want to run a shell script. Whenever we create a script and want to run it, all we do is chmod, then we say u plus x, then u plus x, then the name of the file, hello. So this is the answer to number 5, the script that adds execute permission to the owner of the file. So again, number 5 and 4 and 5 are super easy, so we'll skip them. So let's go to number 6. Write a script that adds execute permission to the owner and the group owner and read permission to the other users to the file hello. So this is also an easy one too. Okay, my bad. So in this case, the answer to this one is chmod 754. So if you're not familiar with the numbers, the 7 just basically means give the user every permission, the read permission, write permission, execute permission. Then the 5 means give the group a read permission and an execute permission, but not a write permission. Then the 4 means give the other users just the read permission. So it's basically in binary, but I wrote the octal. I wrote in the octal form. So if you were to write it in binary, it will be something like, okay, let's go to insert mode. Okay, so if we were to write this same code in the binary form, which I will not advise, you just say mode, then it will be, since we are giving the user every permission to be 111, then the 5 we're giving it just permission to read and execute, so that will be 101. And the last one, the other group, we're just giving them permission to read, so that will be 100 and hello. Now it's still the same code, it will still give the same answer, but the first one is more efficient and way better than this one, so I just felt like explaining that part. So now we exit. Okay. So now we're going to number 7. Now this one is a bit tricky. It says write a script. First of all, let's copy it. come here. It says write a script that adds execution permission to the owner, the group owner, and the other users to the file hello. The file hello will be in the working directory. You are not allowed to use commas for this script. So let's see how that goes. So now I will explain this one. Also for this one, there are also multiple ways of doing it, but again, this is more efficient. So the ugo file, the ugo plus x just means give everybody, both the user, the group, and others, give them the ability to be able to execute the hello file. That's what ugo plus x means. But we could also do this some other way. We could say chmod if we were allowed to use the commas, but it says we should not use commas in this script. But if we were allowed to use the commas, it would be something like u equals, because we just need execution file, execution, then g also equals equals execution and comma, and the last one would be o equals x, then hello. Now this would have been another way to write this code up here, but we are specifically asked not to use a comma, so the first one we wrote is super correct. So, and that's that for this one. Hello. Okay, exit. And now we're going to, yes, number 8. This is super easy. It says write a script that sets the permission to the file hello as follows: owner no permission at all, group no permission at all, other users all the permission. So basically, if you've all watched James Bond movie, this is just 007. So this is just going to be chmod. Sorry, this will be chmod 007. Then hello. This will be the answer to this, but let's still see. Let's see what we did. So yeah, chmod 007. Like I explained before, what we are saying here is no permission for the user, no permission for the group, and all the permissions for other users, like give it read, write, and execute permission. So yeah. Now we are going to number 9. It says write a script that sets the mode of the file to this. Okay, so this, they want us to set it to this mode over here. So we copy this and let's see. Again, I'm using the numbers. I already explained these numbers, where 7 means full permission, read, write, execute. 5 means read, execute, and this time 3 means just to write and execute. So we have read, write, execute 7, we have read, execute 5, then we have write, execute 3. And as you can see, that's what is here. You have read, write, execute, which is the 7. Then you have write, execute. Would you have read, execute? Sorry, read, execute, which is the 5. And finally, you have write, execute, which is the 3. So yeah. So, number 10. Number 10 says write a script that sets the mode of the file hello the same as ALX mode. the file hello will be in the working directory, the file hello will be in the working directory. So again, for you to be able to do this one, you need to have read the resources, because you're going to be using some special option called reference, which is basically just saying copy the permissions from this particular file and implement it on this other file, and we'll see how that is done shortly. So yes, what you're seeing here is chmod reference ole. We are saying reference, like, take the permissions of ole and apply it to this file hello. So as simple as that. So there's no space here, by the way, so take note of that. Now let's keep going. So our next file is number 11, which says create a script that adds execute permission to all subdirectories of the current directory for the owner, the group, and all the users. So let's see this one. Let's come back to our terminal. So now let me explain this. This, we already know what mode means, change mode. Then the R is just means recursively, means change it recursively, and it's a capital R because we are changing a directory or subdirectories in this case. So we are saying recursively change subdirectories for the users. So give them these permissions. For the user, give the user read, write, and execute permissions. For the group, give them read, write, and execute permissions. For the other users, give them read, write, and execute permissions. And this particular dot you can see here, this dot is added because we want all these things to happen in our current working directory. So that dot is really important. When you finish writing all this, make sure you add this dot at the end, because this is the dot that tells them, okay, every permission we've asked you to create for these subdirectories, create it in the current directory you are in. So that's that. First of all, let's clear up our terminal. Now number 12. 12 says create a script that creates a directory called mydir with permission 751. This is super easy because we are already familiar with creating directories. So it will just be make dir, and we'll use one of the options for creating new directories, -m. Now this -m just means mode. So we are saying create directory with this mode 751, and then the name of the directory mydir. So what we've written here, we say create a directory mydir, and using this mode command, give it this mode, this permission. So that's what this code means. Create a directory called mydir and add these permissions to it while creating, or after the directory has been created. So that's that. And finally, question 13. 13 says write a script that changes the group owner to school for the file hello. The file hello will be in the working directory. So we're going to use the change command in this one. We're changing the group ownership to school. So this is just a simple command. Change the group owner, the ownership we want. Change the ownership from the current owner to school for the file hello. So that's that. And as you can see, they all work. So you can, okay, there's no need to check it. You can also check it again. Let's see. While it's checking, let's keep going. So, and we're still going. So yeah. Now question 14. 14 says write a script that changes the owner to Vincent and the group of the owner to staff. So changes the owner to Vincent and the group of the owner to staff. So let's see how that goes. We'll say Vim. So what does this do? Now let me explain this code. Basically, what we are saying here is change ownership. This -h means also affect all symbolic link, because I think if you read the question, it says we should change it for all files and directories in the working directory. So all files and directories, we also included hidden files, symbolic links, everything. So we are saying also change symbolic links and every other file. That's why we added the .h, and the R simply means change it recursively and change the current owner to Vincent and the current group to staff, and do this in the current directory. Again, this means do it in the present directory, the present working directory, the one we are in. That's what this dot simply means. So now let's go to the next one. That would be question 15. Now 15 says write a script that changes the owner and the group owner of hello to Vincent and staff respectively. The file -hello is in the working directory, and the file -hello is a symbolic link. So now let's see how. You see the previous command we just saw, the -h. It's also being used here, and you can see, like I said before, this just means change the ownership of the symbolic link to Vincent and staff. So we've seen this command before. So yeah, and that's that for this one. So, moving on, question 16. Write a script that changes the owner of the file hello to Betty only if it is owned by the user. Okay, Guillem. I'm sorry if I murdered the name, but only if it's owned by this user. So for this one, we'll be using an option of the change owner. So we'll see that in a bit. So what we are saying here is change the ownership of this file hello to Betty if the user of the file is this name over here. That's it, as simple as that. So this is an option of the churn command. So if you want to know more about this, you should go and read the man pages and you will see it there. So now let's move on. And we are on the last one, Star Wars, which says write a script that will play the Star Wars 4 episode in the terminal. Okay, so then it's called telnet. So what does telnet do? Well, telnet is basically it's a command. Telnet is a command network protocol, and it is used to connect to remote servers. This command here, telnet, is a command network protocol being used to connect to remote servers. And this towel.blinkinglights.nl is a Star Wars server. So we are saying telnet connect to this Star Wars server and play this game. Now this server has already been prepared to accept connections from this telnet, so it's pretty much easy to do this. And that's that for this question. And I think that's all we're done for today. Well, I hope I was able to help you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and keep watching.